Good morning, crypto enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Wall Street and Bitcoin, where the financial giants are making significant moves. But here's where it gets controversial. While Wall Street loads up on Bitcoin, the average professional fund manager remains on the sidelines. Let's explore why this is happening and what it means for the future of crypto investments. Institutional investors, including some of the biggest names in finance, academia, and even nation-states, are significantly increasing their Bitcoin exposure. This trend is evident in Q2, as billions of dollars poured into spot ETFs like BlackRock's IBIT and related crypto equities. SEC filings reveal that heavyweight investors such as Brevan Howard, Goldman Sachs, Harvard, Wells Fargo, Jane Street, and Norway's sovereign wealth fund all boosted their positions, indicating growing confidence in Bitcoin as a core allocation. Some of the most notable moves include Brevan Howard nearly doubling its IBIT stake to 37.9 million shares, valued at $2.6 billion, making it one of the largest institutional holders. Goldman Sachs reported $3.3 billion across IBIT and Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust, FBTC, plus $489 million in Ethereum's ETH trust. Harvard disclosed a $1.9 billion stake in IBIT, while Abu Dhabi's Mubadala continues to hold $681 million. Wells Fargo quadrupled its IBIT holdings to $160 million, alongside a small BTC stake. Cantor Fitzgerald pushed past $250 million in IBIT while adding exposure to MicroStrategy, NSTR, Coinbase, Coin, and Robinhood. Trading giant Jane Street now owns $1.46 billion of IBIT, making it its largest position after Tesla. Lastly, Norway's $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund indirectly holds 7,161 BTC, around $841 million, via equity stakes in MSTR, Coinbase, Block, and others, marking a 192. However, the average professional fund manager in the US is barely allocated to crypto. According to a survey from Bank of America, the average fund manager has just 0.3% allocated to crypto, with a whopping 75% having no exposure at all. This discrepancy highlights the tale of two groups: institutions piling into Bitcoin and crypto, and retail investors and their fund managers lagging behind. The sheer scale of these institutional positions validates Bitcoin as an institutional-grade asset. Spot ETFs, offering clean, regulated exposure through familiar structures, are proving to be the gateway for institutional investors. Yet, retail investors and their fund managers remain hesitant, despite the growing acceptance and validation of Bitcoin as an investment. The good news is that the more big names and institutions invest in crypto, the safer it becomes for the average fund manager to recommend it as an investment. It's easier to make safe, standard, and consensus plays and collect fees than to take risks and make contrarian conviction calls. However, crypto won't be considered contrarian for much longer, and the fund manager pivot is just a matter of time. Let's take a look at today's top news in the crypto and Web3 space. Crypto majors were red on the day, with BTC down 3% at $115,100, ETH down 6% at $4,260, XRP down 5% at $2.97, and Sol down 7% at $181. XMR, plus 4%, led top movers. Odds of a September rate cut have fallen from 99% to 83% after recent inflation data. The ETH ETFs saw new outflows on Friday, after a massive 8-session green streak that resulted in $3.7 billion in net inflows. The Federal Reserve officially ended its novel activities program that increased bank scrutiny of crypto. SEC Chair Paul Atkins announced the agency is developing new custody regulations for digital assets to increase clarity and security in the U.S. crypto markets. A recent survey showed professional fund managers allocate just 0.3% to crypto on average, and 75% have zero exposure. Gemini filed to go public via Nasdaq with ticker GEMI, Timing still TBD. Grayscale filed for a Dogecoin ETF on Friday. New York Assembly member Phil Steck proposed a 0.2% excise tax on crypto transactions, estimating $158 million in annual revenue from the program. In corporate treasuries, S-Burst stock plunged 15% to $19.85 on Friday, following a Q2 net loss of $103 million. The firm attributed losses to a $87.8 million non-cash impairment and $16.4 million in stock-based compensation. Metaplanet bought another 775 BTC for $93 million, now holding 18,888. Adam Back's Bitcoin Standard Treasury Co. is preparing to go public in a merger with Cantor Equity Partners, aiming to launch with 30,000 BTC plus $1.5 billion in capital. BTCS announced it will issue a one-time blockchain dividend of $0.05 per share in Ether, the first of its kind. In memes, meme coin leaders are very red on the day, with Doge down 5%, Shiba down 5%, Pepe down 5%, Pengu down 6%, Bonk down 8%, Trump down 2%, SPX down 9%, and Fartcoin down 5%. Fork was a top on-chain runner, jumping 25 times to $4.3 million. Neat, plus 36% to $13 million, was a notable mover. Light ran 4 times to $160 million over the weekend, after the team spent over $1.4 million buying back and burning its token thanks to its flywheel. Now, $126 million. Token Airdrop Protocol Tracker. Here's a rundown of major token, protocol, and airdrop news from the day. Polymarket introduced a breaking news tab, showing the top moving markets over the past 24 hours. Pump.fun flipped Hyperliquid in revenue on Sunday, though it still lagged on the week and month. Hype reflipped it over the past 24 hours. Story Protocol founder Jason Zhao resigned over the weekend, 3.5 years after starting Story, and $130 million plus in funding later. AI x crypto. In the AI sector of crypto, overall market cap is down 3% to $12.9 billion, with leaders in the red. Notable movers include Fartcoin, minus 6%, Virtual, minus 3%, Tibber, minus 8%, AIX16Z, and VVV, plus 9%, Virgin, plus 84%, AVB, plus 17%, and Clanker, plus 15%, led top movers. NFTs. In the NFT space, ETH NFT leaders were red, alongside the ETH sell-off, with Punks down 1% at 49 ETH, Pudgy down 3% at 12.8, and BayYC down 3% at 11.3 ETH. ON1 Force, plus 29%, and Yumamono, plus 60% were notable top movers. Bitcoin NFTs saw some green, led by Taproot Wizards, plus 4%, and Adderalls, plus 28%. Abstract NFTs were mostly red, led by Penkstracted, plus 29%. A Rect Guy 1-for-1 sold for 10 ETH, $45,000. Cerebro announced its mint details, launching on 8/21, with 6,969 NFTs for 0.08 ETH each. Stay tuned for tomorrow's edition of the Daily Debrief newsletter, where we'll bring you the top